So I meditate on rematriation as something that is rooted in our commitment to this ancestral womb, la matriz, matriz being womb in Spanish. So to rematriate es regresar a la matriz, rematriate to the womb, to that matriarch, to that ancestral mother, to this homeland. And to do so, we must first honor the Indigenous and African ancestral mothers that were charged with the task of helping our women to birth, and in particular, post-conquest, or during once conquest occurred and ever since, helping our women to birth through genocide. In which case, birthing becomes an act of rebellion, birthing and receiving our babies to ensure future bloodlines, to ensure future generations. I think of those women, Indigenous and Black women, who did this work, like my own abuelas, my own matrilineal line of abuelas who attended births in the south of Boriken. What is interesting is that I myself, in New York City, still living in New York City, made the decision to birth my children at home with a midwife without having this knowledge that this is the work that my maternal line had done. And yet it seemed that I held this memory in my bones, that I held this memory in my blood, to the point of being called to birthing in this way, in the way of my ancestors, and with the support and assistance of my ancestors. That said, rematriation for me, in addition to returning here to this womb and choosing to commit and be here in this womb, is to be here intentionally, to be here rooted in the purpose that this work is not just as simple as aquí estoy, aquí llegué. It's ensuring that we live intentionally every day within the context of the historical struggle that this place and that our people have seen for centuries. It is working each day towards our personal and collective decolonization and liberation. It is working each day to protect the land, but also to nourish ourselves and heal ourselves from the land, collecting foods, ancestral foods, and ancestral medicines from the land that could keep us out of their hospitals. Rematriation is not just a term that we throw out. It is a deliberate practice. It is a deliberate way of living and being and seeing and feeling and existing, always knowing that for every one of us here today, most likely, absolutely, there is an Indigenous or African woman charged with that possibility that allows us to be here today, estando aquí en Boriken, estando en Culebra o en Vieques, o estando donde quiera que sea en la diáspora. Our existence is owed to them. And so it is important that we remember that when we enjoy the beautiful romance that the term rematriation might bring, when we enjoy the pleasure that working with the land or eating from the land might bring. It is important that we remember that when visibly Black and brown people are continuously excluded from spaces, that we ensure that spaces are open for us, that we ensure that our voices are heard in all spaces and not just at certain times of the year, that we own privilege for those of us who have privilege, like having come from the diaspora, perhaps with access to colonizer amenities. And it also requires that when we come here, that we be ready to set those colonizer expectations or leave that shit across the water, because we cannot come here with the same lens and the same expectations that we were conditioned to live elsewhere. We have to come here and immerse ourselves and align to the reality that is here, and not judge our people, and not judge our land, and not judge spaces for lack of proximity to whiteness or to the colonizer. We cannot judge always the systems and the services for not functioning as efficiently as the colonizer, when in fact the colonizer is the one that presides over the inefficiency and the exploitation caused by such companies like Luma, who provide electricity, who control it, who continuously increase the cost of it, even with substandard services. Rematriation is so much more than just being here. Rematriation is so much more than just moving here. Rematriation is a holistic practice and involves us, body, mind, and spirit. It transcends space and place. It is a spirit commitment to align to the original essence of this place and of our ancestors, and of that original vibration that was the frequency here before these islands were ravaged under the name of conquest.